Hey YouTube, how's it going? VenomMan20 here today, and today I'm going to give my Bushmaster a bath. One of the blackheads has just a little bit of stuck shed. He just got done shedding. Typically, after Bushmasters, the biggest viper on earth, sheds, they take a big crap. So I need to clean his cage anyway, and we're going to try to get that little bit of stuck shed off of him. So stay tuned.
All venomous snake handling in this video is performed by a professional. Please don't try anything you're about to see at home.
So here behind me we have what your average person would call a trash can. Around here we call it a snake can. This trash can is never used for trash, it's only used to soak snakes or to put snakes in whenever we clean out their enclosure. Also here I got my bucket of water. One important thing if you ever go to soak your snakes at home, because it's good to help get shed off. It's also good to clean their bodies if they're sitting in poop, because snakes sometimes do that. Here's a temperature probe. We're going to take the temperature of the water, 77 degrees. That's about perfect. Bushmasters like it a little bit cooler than most snakes. They can actually digest food at like 70 degrees and be completely fine. A lot of snakes need like 74, 75, 82 is where I keep a lot of my elapids at, and other vipers, but that's beside the point. If you're at home, don't just put your hand into the water and check it for the temperature. Your body is at 98.6 degrees. So if it feels perfect to you, that water is at about 98 degrees. 98 degrees will kill your snake if it's kept in there for long term. Its temperature is going to rise very quickly if it's a small snake with that warm of water, and it's not going to be good on it. So with that being said, be very careful about that. It's better to be a little bit too cool than a little too warm. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, I'm going to go pour this in. One thing I want to take into account while doing this is I don't want the water to be over about half of the body of the snake. I want him to be able to easily rest his head up above the water. You know, rest it on a coil, he'll be good. I can go just a little bit deeper than that because he's only going to be in here for about 30 minutes. Bushmasters stress easily. I just need to clean out his enclosure. That should loosen the skin up quite a bit. So anyway, let's get the snake out. We are being watched real hard by that Bushmaster right there. He's already had his cage service, so we're not going to mess with him. We are going for the guy right underneath him. You might look at this and be like, Venom Man, that's horrible that you keep him inside a rack. It's actually really good. It holds the humidity about perfect. They don't stress too much being inside the rack. Not only that, they're a lot easier to keep clean. Bushmasters need a pristine cage at all times. If there's any fecal matter, two things can happen. They can get scale rot really quickly, and not only that, they tend to have issues with their lungs. They have very weak lungs, almost like a bird. Hey, big guy. What are you doing? Hey. So this is the biggest viper on earth, if you're unfamiliar with Bushmasters. The blackhead's not the longest, but they are one of the thickest compared to other Bushmasters. Muda, which is a South American Bushmaster, can actually get to be about 12 foot long. This specimen here is pretty young, and this is actually one of the worst Bushmasters that I work with. This guy is a grump most of the time. As you can see, you see that little bit of shed on his back. Hey, big guy. Normally I would try to tail him to help support that girth, but he is kind of a grump. I really don't want to do that. Here, a little bit of a soak. Let's go get the camera so they can see you. So there he is, sitting down inside his water, just getting a little bit of a soak. What's weird is Bushmasters don't handle water very well. If his cage was wet to help him shed, he would actually get that scale fungusy issue that Bushmasters typically get. But they like a nice ambient humidity. So the air needs to be wet, but the cage needs to be dry, which makes these one of the hardest snakes in the world to keep. In all honesty, they are tough. But when I say tough, I don't mean resistant. I mean tough to keep healthy. I'm going to actually spray him down, give him a little bit of a shower with this bath. So this will stress him out just a little bit, but I think it's better to do it just to make sure that we get that shed just a little moist. Okay. Now that shed should flake right off. See, the weird thing about the Bushmasters, and you might be able to see this from him, if not you can check out some of my other videos, I have some close-ups, they have a very keeled scale. So they have a very rough scale. They have a ridge running down right the middle of each scale. This makes it very hard for them to shed. They also have separation between the scales of like skin, which is very odd compared to a lot of other snakes. So they're really one of their own. They're very unique, to say the least. But we'll give him about 30 minutes in there, and we'll pull him out and put him back inside a clean enclosure. So his soak is over, and I'm going to go ahead and pull him out of here and put him back into his clean cage. Hey, buddy. As I said earlier, I don't typically tail this black-headed Bushmaster, although I would like to help support the girth. I do have a very thick hook, so that helps. But one reason I don't tail this animal is because he has a tendency to flail. And if he was to flail, he could easily come back on you very quickly. Hey buddy, how are you? Get you a little bit past the trash can there. Okay, there we go. Sorry, bud. So there he is. He's a very keeled scale, very beautiful snake. Starting to go a little rigid. So when they go rigid like that, it's normally a stress thing. And these guys will actually get so stressed, they build up lactic acid. And they will actually pass away a lot like a crocodile because they don't have a way to get rid of it. That shed is not going to quite come off. It is loosened up quite a bit. This should flake off in time. If not, he will get it next shed. I just want to try to get as much shed off as possible, as soon as possible. Anyway, hopefully you guys got to see most of that. I don't have anybody working behind the camera tonight, so it's a little hard to get some of these snakes on camera, especially that guy. He does have a tendency, like I said, to flail, and when he does that, he's one of the quickest snakes in the world, just very quick. Like, he'll definitely catch you off guard, so I got to be very careful of him. Because one bite from a Bushmaster, it's 4 out of 5 chances that you're going to die. I mean, that's a statistic done back in Costa Rica years ago. Black-headed Bushmasters are dangerous. They're never going to come out after you unless they think you're food. But with that being said, you just got to give them the respect they deserve. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I'm really big into vipers. I also have king cobras and probably soon to have black mambas. We'll see. Big into crocodiles and venomous lizards and monitors and all sorts of stuff. Anyway, thank you for checking this out. Make sure you give this video a like. You'll have a wonderful night.